Welcome back to the channel. Sorry we're late tonight. My phone died and I had to get a charge on it, so here we are a little bit late. But yeah, quite late, like 40 minutes almost. But so if you're new to the channel or you didn't watch yesterday's video, we're working through the Bible, starting with the smallest books of the Bible and working our way all the way up to the largest books. This series is called the Snowball Bible Reading Plan, and today we're finishing the book of Proverbs. And so we read chapters 1 through 15 yesterday. Today we're going to read 15 through 31. And so for those who will see this later, if you like what we're doing on the channel and you feel called to support it, there are links in the description. We're not monetized. We don't make any money off of these videos, but obviously, you don't want to monetize scripture anyways. But we do a lot of other fun, cool videos on here too. So, yeah, with that to say, there's also a link for the playlist that we're doing in the description as well. Son, go in the room with your mom, okay? Hold on one sec. Go now. I'll be right back. Okay. So we're just going to go ahead and jump right in. I see we got Heart and Harvest Homestead. Hey, we're here. Roman Jeeper is on. Bear's live right now. I know I was also watching Bear live, and I was like, man, I'm not trying to jump on here and overlap live streams with Bear. But hey, we got some reading to do, and the reading's got to get done. So I'm here to do that. But LT, good to see you too. Thanks for being here. Shalom. Appreciate you coming back. Gosh, it's so hot in my house. Sorry. All right. You guys ready? All right. I'm ready too. Okay. Chapter 16. To man belongs the preparations of the heart, but from Yahweh is the answer of the tongue. All the ways of a man are clean in his own eyes, but Yahweh weighs the spirits. Commit your works to Yahweh, and your plans shall be established. Yahweh has made all for his purpose, and also the wrong for the day of evil. Everyone proud in heart is an abomination to Yahweh. Hand to hand he goes not unpunished. By loving commitment and truth, crookedness is pardoned. And in the fear of Yahweh one turns away from evil. When a man's ways please Yahweh, he makes even his enemies to be at peace with him. Better is a little with righteousness than a large income without right ruling. A man's heart plans his way, but Yahweh establishes his steps. An oath is on the lips of the foreign. In right ruling his mouth trespasses not. A right scale and balance are of Yahweh. All the weights in the bag are his work. It is an abomination for sovereigns to commit wrongness, for a throne is established by righteousness. Righteous lips are the delight of sovereigns, and they love him who speaks what is straight. The sovereign's wrath is a messenger of death. No, you can't. It's hot out here. The sovereign's wrath is a messenger of death, but a wise man appeases it. In the light of a sovereign's face is life, and his delight is like a cloud of the latter rain. How much better is it to get wisdom than gold, and to get understanding is preferable to silver. The highway of the straight is to turn away from evil. He who guards his life watches over his way. Before destruction comes pride, and before the fall a haughty spirit. Better to be lowly in spirit with the poor than to divide the spoil with the proud. He who acts wisely concerning the word finds good, and blessed is he who trusts in Yahweh. The wise-hearted is called discerning, and sweetness of lips increases learning. Understanding is a fountain of life to him who has it, but the disciplining of fools is folly. The heart of the wise gives discretion to his mouth, and he increases learning to his lips. Pleasant words are like a honeycomb, sweet to the being, and healing to the bones. There is a way that seems right to a man, but its end is the way of death. He who labors for himself, for his mouth drives him on. A man of Belial plots evil, and his lips are like a burning fire. A perverse man sends forth strife, and a whisperer separates intimate friends. A ruthless man entices his neighbor, and leads him in a way that is not good, winking with his eye to plot perversity. Moving his lips, he shall bring about evil. Gray hair is a crown of adorning if it is found in the way of righteousness. He who is patient is better than the mighty, and he who rules over his spirit than he who takes a city. A lot is cast into the lap, but every decision is the lot is cast into the lap, but every decision by it is from Yahweh. Chapter 17. Better is a dry piece of bread, and rest with it, than a house filled with slaughters of strife. A wise servant rules over a son who causes shame, and shares an inheritance among the brothers. A refining pot is for silver, and a furnace for gold, but Yahweh tries the hearts. An evildoer gives heed to wicked lips. A liar gives ear to a tongue of desire. He who mocks the poor reproaches his maker. He who rejoices at calamity does not go unpunished. Children's children are the crown of old men, and the adornment of children is their fathers. Excellent speech is not fitting for a fool, much less lying lips for a noble. A bribe is a stone of favor in the eyes of its owner. Wherever he turns, he prospers. He who covers a transgression seeks love, but he who repeats a matter separates intimate friends. Reproof enters deeper into a wise man than 100 strikes on a fool. An evil one seeks only rebellion, so a cruel messenger is sent against him. Let a bereaved bear meet a man, rather than a fool in his folly. Whoever rewards evil for good, evil does not leave his house. The beginning of strife is like releasing water. Therefore stop fighting before it breaks out. He who declares the wrong right, and he who condemns the righteous, both are an abomination to Yahweh. Why is this a price in the hand of a fool to buy wisdom? Then there is no heart. Why is this a price in the hand of a fool to buy wisdom when there is no heart? A friend loves at all times, and a brother is born for adversity. A man lacking heart shakes hands in a pledge. He becomes guarantor for his friend. He who loves transgression loves strife. He who exalts his door seeks destruction. He who has a crooked heart finds no good, and he who has a perverse tongue falls into evil. He who brings forth a fool has sorrow for it, and the father of a fool has no joy. A rejoicing heart causes good healing, but a stricken spirit dries the bones. One who is wrong accepts a bribe, a bribe behind the back, to pervert the paths of right ruling. Wisdom is before the face of the understanding one, but the eyes of a fool are on the ends of the earth. A foolish son is a grief to his father, and bitterness to her who bore him. It is also not good to punish the righteous one, to strike noble ones for straightness. He who has knowledge spares his words, and a man of understanding is cool of spirit. Even a fool keeping silence is regarded as wise, as understanding when he closes his lips. That's a good verse. I gotta learn to listen more, talk less. Chapter 18. The separatist seeks his own desire. He breaks out against all sound wisdom. A fool does not delight in understanding, but in uncovering his own heart. When a wrong one comes, scorn comes too, and with shame comes reproach. The words of a man's mouth are deep waters. The fountain of wisdom is a flowing stream. It is not good to show partiality to the wrong, or to turn aside the righteous in right ruling. A fool's lips enter into strife, and his mouth calls for blows. A fool's mouth is his ruin, and his lips are the snare of his life. The words of a slanderer are like delicacies, and they go down into the inner parts of the heart. Also, he who is slack in his work is a brother of a master destroyer. The name of Yahweh is a strong tower. The righteous run into it and are safe. Love that verse too. The rich man's wealth is his strong city, and like a high wall in his own imagination. Before destruction, the heart of a man is haughty, and before esteem is humility. He who answers a matter before he hears it, it is folly and shame to him. The spirit of a man sustains him in sickness, but who does bear a broken spirit? The heart of the understanding one gets knowledge, and the ear of the wise seeks knowledge. A man's gift makes room for him, and brings him before great men. The first to state his own case seems right, until another comes and examines him. The lot settles disputes. I want to back up to verse 17. The first to state his own case seems right, until another comes and examines him. That's an interesting verse because I challenge all my beliefs because I grew up in mainstream Christianity, and I learned so many things that I had to unlearn and reevaluate at least, that I look at both sides of every doctrine or theological debate. I like to find out why people believe what they believe and hear their case. So I'm really interested in hearing debates and finding who's, and as long as you have a solid foundation in the word, you can hear somebody's debate and pretty much go, okay, this person is basing their foundation in scripture and the other person is basing their foundation in, tradition or what have you. But anyways, I just find that interesting. The first to state his own case seems right until another comes and examines him. We got to test all things. The lot settles disputes and separates between the mighty. A brother transgressed against his is a strong city, and contentions are like the bars of a citadel. A man's stomach is satisfied from the fruit of his mouth. He is satisfied with the increase of his lips. Death and life are in the power of the tongue, and those loving it eat its fruits. He who has found a wife has found good and receives favor from Yahweh. The poor speaks beseechingly, but the rich answers fiercely. A man of many friends might come to ruin, but there is a loving one who sticks closer than a brother. Chapter 19. Better is the poor walking in his integrity than one of perverse lips who is a fool. Also, desire without knowledge is not good, and he who hurries with his feet sins. The foolishness of a man perverts his way, and his heart is wroth against Yahweh. Wealth adds many friends, but the poor is separated from his friend. A false witness does not go unpunished, and he who breathes out lies does not escape. Many entreat the favor of the noble, and all are friends to him who give gifts. All the brothers of the poor shall hate him. How much more shall his friends go far from him? He pursues promises, they are gone. He who gets heart loves his own life. He who guards understanding finds good. A false witness does not go unpunished, and he who breathes out lies perishes. Luxury is not fitting for a fool, much less for a servant to rule over princes. A man's discretion makes him patient, and his adorning is to pass over a transgression. The sovereign's wrath is like the roaring of a lion, and his delight is like dew on the grass. A foolish son is a calamity to his father, and the contentions of a wife are a continual dripping. Houses and riches are the inheritance from fathers, but an understanding wife is from Yahweh. Laziness makes one fall into a deep sleep, and an idle being suffers hunger. He who guards the commands guards his life. He who despises his ways dies. That's pretty powerful. Verse 17, he who shows favor to the poor lends to Yahweh, and he repays his deed. Discipline your son because there is expectation, and do not set your being on his destruction. One of great wrath bears punishment, for if you rescue him, you only have to do it again. Listen to counsel and accept discipline, so that you are wise in your latter end. Many are the plans in a man's heart, but it is the counsel of Yahweh that stands. What is desirable in a man is his loving commitment, and a poor man is better than a liar. The fear of Yahweh leads to life, and he remains satisfied. He is not visited by evil. Sorry, I get caught up on wanting to. I like to make little notes so I can easily refer back to these. A lazy one buries his hand in a dish and does not bring it back to his mouth. Like a scoffer, and the simple is made wise. And reprove one who has understanding, and he discerns knowledge. He who plunders a father chases away his mother, is a son causing shame and bringing reproach. Seize, my son, to hear discipline, and you shall stay away from. Seize, my son, to hear discipline, and you shall stray away from the words of knowledge. A witness of Belial scorns right ruling, and the mouth of the wrong ones devours wickedness. Judgments are in the store of scoffers, and beatings for the backs of fools. Chapter 20. Wine is a scoffer, strong drink a brawler, and whoever is led away by it is not wise. The dread of a sovereign is like the roaring of a lion, Whoever provokes him sins against his own life. For a man to cease from his strife is esteemed, but every fool bursts out. The lazy one does not plow after the autumn. At harvest time he inquires, there is none. Counsel in the heart of a man is like deep water, but a man of understanding draws it up. Most men proclaim each his own loving commitment, but who finds a trustworthy man? The righteous man walks in his integrity. His children are blessed after him. A sovereign who sits on the throne of judgment is scattered all evil. A sovereign who sits on the throne of judgment is scattered all evil with his eyes. Who says, I have cleansed my heart, I am purged of my sin. Differing weights and differing measures, both of them are an abomination to Yahweh. Even a child is known by his deeds, whether his work is clear and right. The hearing ear and the seeing eye, Yahweh has made them both. Do not love sleep, lest you become poor. Open your eyes and be satisfied with bread. Evil, evil, cries the buyer, but when he has gone away, then he boasts. There is gold in a multitude of rubies, but the lips of knowledge are a precious vessel. Take the garment of one who is guarantor for a stranger, and hold it as a pledge when it is for foreigners. Bread gained by deceit might be sweet to a man, but afterward his mouth is filled with gravel. By counsel plans are established, and by wise guidance wage a battle. He who goes about as a slanderer reveals secrets. Therefore do not associate with him. Do not speak smoothly with his lips. Therefore do not associate with him who speaks smoothly with his lips. Whoever curses his father or his mother, his lamp is put out in deep darkness. An inheritance obtained with greed at the beginning is not blessed at the end. Do not say, I repay evil. Wait for Yahweh, and he saves you. Differing weights are an abomination to Yahweh, and a false scale is not good. The steps of a man are from Yahweh. What does a man know about his own way? It is a snare for a man to say rashly, it is set apart, and only later to reconsider his vows. A wise sovereign winnows at the wrong, and turns the wheel over them. The spirit of a man is the lamp of Yahweh, searching all his innermost parts. Loving commitment and truth watch over the sovereign, and he shall support his throne by loving commitment. The comeliness of young men is their strength, and the splendor of old men is their gray hair. The blows that wound cleanse away evil, and strokes the inner part of the heart. Chapter 21. The sovereign's heart is as channels of water. In the hand of Yahweh, he turns it wherever he wishes. All a man's ways are right in his own eyes, but Yahweh weighs the hearts. To do righteousness and right ruling is more acceptable to Yahweh than a slaughtering. A haughty look, a proud heart, a lamp of the wrong are sin. The lamp of the wrong are sin. The plans of the hard worker lead only to plenty, but all rash haste only to poverty. Gaining treasures by a lying tongue is a fleeting vapor, heading for death. The spoil of the wrong catches them, because they refuse to do right ruling. The way of a guilty man is perverse, but as for the innocent, his work is right. It is better to dwell in a corner of a roof than in a house shared with a contentious woman. The desire of the wrong is set upon evil. His neighbor finds no favor in his eyes. When the scoffer is punished, the simple is made wise. But when the wise is instructed, he receives knowledge. The righteous one understands the house of the wrong. He overthrows the wrong for their evil. Whoever shuts his ears to the cry of the poor, let him also cry and not be heard. A gift in secret subdues displeasure, and a bribe in the bosom, strong wrath. To do right ruling is joy to the righteous, but ruin to the workers of the wicked. A man who strays from the way of understanding resists the assembly of the dead. A man who strays away from understanding rests in the assembly of the dead. He who loves pleasure is a poor man. He who loves wine and oil does not become rich. The wrong is a ransom for the righteous, and the treacherous for the straight, and the treacherous for the straight. It is better to dwell in the wilderness than with a contentious and vexed woman. Desirable treasure and oil are in the dwelling of the wise, but a foolish man swallows it up. He who pursues righteousness and loving commitment finds life, righteousness and esteem. A wise one scales the city of the mighty and brings down the trusted stronghold. Whoever guards his mouth and tongue guards his life from distress. Proud, haughty scoffer is his name. He acts with arrogant pride. The desire of the lazy man slays him, and his hand refused to work. He covets greedily all day long, but the righteous gives and does not withhold. The slaughtering of the wrong is an abomination. How much more when he brings it with wickedness? A false witness perishes, but the man who obeys speaks forever. A wrong man hardens his face, but as for the straight, he establishes his way. There is no wisdom or understanding or counsel against Yahweh. The horse is prepared for the day of battle, but the deliverance is of Yahweh. A good name is preferable to great riches. Chapter 22. Favor is better than silver and gold. And the rich and the poor meet together. Yahweh is the maker of them all. A clever one foresees evil and hides himself, but the simple go on and are punished. The reward of humility is the fear of Yahweh. Sorry. Riches and esteem and life. The reward of humility is the fear of Yahweh, riches, esteem, and life. Thorns, snares are in the way of the perverse. He who guards his life keeps far away from them. Train up a child in the way he should go. Even when he is old, he turns not away from it. That's one of my favorite verses too. I'm going to probably say that a lot through these readings. There's just so many good verses in here. The rich rules over the poor, and the borrower is servant to the lender. Dave Ramsey, right? He who sows unrighteousness reaps trouble, and the rod of his wrath perishes. He who has a good eye is blessed, for he gives of his bread to the poor. Cast out the scoffer, and strife goes out, and contention and shame cease. He who loves cleanness of heart, whose speech is pleasant, a sovereign is his friend. The eyes of Yahweh shall watch over knowledge, but he overthrows the words of the treacherous. The lazy one says, "There is a lion outside, and I am going to be murdered in the streets." The mouth of a strange woman is a deep pit, and one denounced by Yahweh falls in there. Folly is bound up in the heart of a child. The rod of discipline drives it far from him. I try to remind my son that as often as necessary. One oppresses the poor to increase his wealth. Another gives to the rich, only to come to poverty. Incline your ear and hear the words of the wise, and apply your heart to my knowledge, for they are pleasant. If you guard them within you, let all of them be ready on your lips. That your trust might be in Yahweh, I caused you to know today, even you. Have I not previously written to you of counsels and knowledge, to cause you to know the certainty of the words of truth, to return words of truth to those who send to you? Do not rob the poor because he is poor, and oppress not the afflicted at the gate. For Yahweh pleads their cause, and shall plunder those who plunder them. Make no friendship with one given to wrath, and do not go with a man of rage, lest you learn his ways, and find yourself ensnared. Do not be one of those who shakes hands in a pledge, one of those who are guarantors for debts. If you do not have the means to pay, why should he take away your bed from under you? And do not move the ancient boundary. Some good advice. Don't take a loan. If you're broke, you're broke. Do not move the ancient boundary which your fathers have set. Do you see a man who is skilled in his work? He does stand before sovereigns. He does not stand before obscure ones. Chapter 23. When you sit down to eat with a ruler, look well what is before you, and put a knife to your throat if you are a man given to appetite. Do not desire his delicacies, for that food is deceptive. Do not labor to be rich. Cease from your own understanding. Do not set your eyes on that which is not, for riches certainly make themselves wings. They fly away like an eagle to the heavens. Do not eat the bread of one having an evil eye, nor desire his delicacies. For as he reckons in his life, so is he. Eat and drink, and say to you, eat and drink, he says to you, but his heart is not with you. You vomit the peace you have eaten, and lose your sweet words. Do not speak in the ear of a fool, for he will tread on the wisdom of your words. Do not move the ancient boundary, and do not enter the field of the fatherless. For their Redeemer is strong. He shall plead their cause against you. Bring your heart to discipline, and your ears to the words of knowledge. Do not withhold discipline from a child. If you strike him with a rod, he does not die. Strike him with a rod and deliver him his being from Sheol. My son, if your heart shall be wise, my heart rejoices, even I, and my kidneys exult when your lips speak what is straight. Do not let your heart envy sinners, but be in the fear of Yahweh all day long. For certain there is a hereafter, and let your expectancy not be cut off. Hear, my son, and be wise, and guide your heart in the way. Be not among heavy drinkers of wine, or with gluttonous eaters of meat. For the drunkard and the glutton become poor, and slumber puts rags on a man. Listen to your father who brought you forth, and do not despise your mother when she is old. Buy the truth and do not sell it. Wisdom and discipline and understanding. The father of the righteous greatly rejoices. The father of the righteous greatly rejoices, and he who brings forth a wise one delights in him. Let your father and your mother rejoice, and let her who bore you exult. My son, give me your heart, and let my eyes watch my ways. Let your eyes watch my ways. For a whore is a deep pit, and a strange woman is a narrow well. She too lies in wait as for prey, and increases the treacherous among men. Who has woe? Who has sorrow? Who has contentions? Who has complaints? Who feels hurt without cause? Who has redness of eyes? Who staying long at the wine? Those staying long at the wine, those going in to search out mixed drink. Do not look on the wine when it is red, when it gives its color in the cup, as it flows smoothly. In the end it bites like a snake, and stings like an adder. Your eyes look on strange women, and your heart speaks perversities. And you shall be as one lying down in the midst of the sea, and as one lying at the top of the mast, saying, They struck me, I was not sick. They beat me, I did not know. When shall I wake up? Let me seek it again. A glutton for punishment. Chapter 24. And a man of knowledge strengthens power, for by wise guidance you wage your own battle. And delivery is by a great counselor. Wisdom is high for a fool. He does not open his mouth in the gate. He who plots to do evil is called a master of evil plots. The purpose of folly is sin, and the scoffer is an abomination to men. If you falter in the day of distress, your strength is small. Deliver those taken to death, and hold back those stumbling to the kill. If you say, See, we did not know this, would not he who weighs the heart discern it? He who watches over your life, would he not know it? And shall he not repay man according to his work? My son, eat honey, for it is good, and the honeycomb sweet to your taste, knowing that wisdom is thus to your being. If you have found it, there is a future, and your expectancy is not cut off. Do not lie in wait, O wrong one, against the dwelling of the righteous. Do not revenge his resting place, for 7 times a righteous man falls and rises, but the wrong one stumbles into evil. Do not exult when your enemy falls, and let not your heart rejoice when he stumbles, lest Yahweh see and it be evil in his eyes, and he turn away his wrath from him. Do not fret because of evildoers, and do not envy the wrong, for there is no future for the evildoer. The lamp of the wrongdoer is put out. My son, fear Yahweh the sovereign. Do not mingle with those who change, for their calamity arises suddenly. You all right?
Yeah, I broke a nail.
She broke a nail. Heard her wince in pain. Sorry. Let me go back to the beginning of this sentence. My son, fear Yahweh and the sovereign. Yahweh and the sovereign. Do not mingle with those who change, for their calamity arises suddenly. And who knows the ruin of both of them? These also are for the wise. It is not good to show partiality in right ruling. He who says to the wrong, You are righteous, peoples curse him, nations despise him. But those who rebuke the wrong, it is pleasant, and a good blessing comes on them. He who gives a right answer kisses the lips. Prepare your outside work, and make it fit for yourself in the field. Then you shall build yourself, then you shall build your house. Do not witness against your neighbor without cause, and do not deceive with your lips. Do not say, let me do to him as he did to me. I repay each according to his work. I passed by the field of the lazy, and by the vineyard of the man lacking heart. And see, it was all overgrown with thorns. Its surface was covered with nettles, and its stone wall was broken down. When I saw it, I set my heart on it. I looked and received discipline. A little sleep, a little slumber, a little folding of the hands to rest, and your poverty shall come. Poverty shall come a prowler, and your need like an armed man. Chapter 25. You guys hanging in there? Sorry if I am boring to listen to. Appreciate you guys hearing the word with me though. Chapter 25. These two are Proverbs of Solomon, which the men of Hezekiah, sovereign of Yehuda, copied. It is the esteem of Elohim to hide a matter, and the esteem of sovereigns to search out a matter. The heavens for height and earth for depth, but the heart of sovereigns is unsearchable. Take away the dross from silver, and the vessel comes forth from the refiner. Take away the wrong from before the sovereign, and his throne is established in righteousness. Do not exalt yourself before a sovereign, and do not stand in the place of great men. For it is better for him to say to you, come up here, than that you should be put lower before a noble whom your eyes have seen. Do not go forth to strive in haste. For what would you do in the end, when your neighbor has put you to shame? Plead your case with your neighbor himself, and do not disclose the secret of another, lest he who hears it put you to shame, and your evil report turn not back. A word spoken at the right time is like apples of gold in settings of silver. A ring of gold and an ornament of fine gold is a wise one's reproof to an ear that hears. Like the cold of snow in time of harvest is a trustworthy messenger to those who send him. For he refuses the life of his masters. He who boasts of his gifts falsely is like clouds and wind without rain. Through patience a ruler is persuaded, and a soft tongue shatters a bone. Have you found honey? Eat only as much as you need, lest you be satisfied with it and vomit. Make your foot rare in your neighbor's house, lest he gets enough of you and hate you. A man bearing false witness against his neighbor is like a club and a sword and a sharp arrow. Trust in a treacherous man in time of distress. It is like a broken tooth or a foot out of joint. One who takes away a garment in cold weather is like vinegar on soda. And a singer of songs on an one who takes away a garment in the cold weather is like vinegar on soda, and a singer of songs on an evil heart. If your enemy is hungry, give him bread to eat, and if he is thirsty, give him water to drink. For you are heaping coals of fire on his head, and Yahweh rewards you. The north wind brings rain, and a secret tongue is enraged, an enraged face. It is better to dwell in the corner of a roof than in a house shared with a contentious woman. Like cold water to a parched throat is good news from a distant land. A righteous man who gives away before the wrong is like a muddied spring in and a ruined fountain. It is not good to eat much honey, It is esteemed to seek one's own esteem. Is it esteemed to seek one's own esteem? A man who has no control over his spirit is like a broken down city without a wall. Chapter 26. Like snow in summer and rain in harvest, so esteem is not fitting for a fool. As a bird wanders, as a bird wanders, as a swallow flies about, so a curse without cause does not come. A whip for a horse, a bridle for a donkey, and a rod for the fool's back. Do not answer a fool according to his folly, lest you also become like him. Answer a fool according to his folly, lest you be wise lest he become wise in his own eyes. He who sends a message by the hand of a fool cuts off feet, drinks damage. I can't see what's out there, but there's something on my porch. Or there's some massive beetles or something flying in my window. I don't know. Something keeps tapping on the window. Uh-oh. I don't know where it was. Oh. He who sends a message by the hand of a fool cuts off his feet, drinks damage. The legs of the lame hang limp. So is a proverb in the mouth of fools. Like one binding a stone in a sling, so is he who gives esteem to a fool. A thorn goes into the hand of a drunkard, so is a proverb in the mouth of fools. An archer who wounds anyone is he who hires a fool or any passerby. As a dog returns to his own vomit, so a fool repeats his foolishness, or his folly. Have you seen a man wise in his own eyes? There is more expectancy for a fool than for him. The lazy one says, there is a lion in the way, a fierce lion in the streets. As a door turns on its hinges, so the lazy one turns on his bed. The lazy one buries his hand in a dish. It tires him to bring it back to his mouth. The lazy one is wiser in his own eyes than seven rendering advice. A passerby meddling in a strife not his own is like one who takes hold of a dog by the ears. Like a madman who throws sparks, arrows, and death, so is a man who deceives his neighbor and says, I was only joking. For lack of wood, the fire goes out, and without a slanderer, strife ceases. As charcoal is to burning coals and wood to fire, so is a contentious man to kindle strife. The words of a slanderer are as dainty morsels, which go down into the inner parts of the heart. Burning lips with an evil heart are like earthenware covered with silver dross. He who hates pretends with his lips, and lays up deceit within him.
I have a question.
Yeah.
Do we know what earthenware means? Like, what does that mean? Because that's what's his name?
It's like a pot.
Oh, okay.
It's clay.
Oh, I feel stupid. Thank you.
He who hates pretends with his lips, and lays up deceit within him. Though he speaks kindly, do not believe him. For there are 7 abominations in his heart. Hatred is covered by deceit. His evil is disclosed in the assembly. Whoever digs a pit falls into it, and whoever rolls a stone, it turns back on him. A lying tongue hates its bruised ones, and a flattering mouth works ruin. Chapter 27. Do not boast of tomorrow, for you do not know what a day brings forth. Let another man praise you, and not your own mouth, a stranger, and not your own lips. A stone is heavy, and sand is weighty, but a fool's wrath is heavier than both. Wrath is cruel and displeasure overwhelming, but who is able to stand before jealousy? Open reproof is better than hidden love. The wounds of a loved one are true, but the kisses of an enemy are profuse. One satisfied loathes the honeycomb, but to a hungry one any bitter food is sweet. Like a bird that wanders from its nest, so is a man who wanders from his place. Ointment and perfume gladden the heart, so one's counsel is sweet to his friend. Do not forsake your own friend or your father's friend, and do not go into your brother's house in the day of your calamity. It is better is a neighbor nearby than a brother far away. My son, be wise, and gladden my heart, that I might have a word for him who reproaches me. A clever man foresees calamity, hides himself. The simple shall go on. They are punished. Take the garment of him who is guarantor for a stranger, and for a strange woman pledge it. He who greets his friend loudly early in the morning shall have it reckoned to him as a curse. That's the verse that Lucia was talking about yesterday. Drops that never cease on a very rainy day, and a contentious woman are alike. Whoever represses her represses the wind, and the right hand encounters oil. Iron is sharpened by iron, and a man sharpens the face of his friend. He who tends the fig tree eats its fruit, and he who guards his master is esteemed. As in water face reflects face, so a man's heart reflects a man. Sheol and destruction are not satisfied, so the eyes of a man are not satisfied. A refining pot is for silver, and a furnace for gold. So a man is tried by his praise. Even if you pound a fool in a mortar with a pestle, along with crushed grain, his folly shall not leave him. Know well the state of your flocks. Set your heart on your herds, for riches are not forever, nor a diadem to all generations. Grass vanishes, and new grass appears, and the vegetation of the mountains is gathered in. The lambs are for your garments, and the goats for the price of a field, and goats milk enough for your food, for the food of your household and the sustenance for your girls. I was just telling them that verse.
Yeah.
He who greets a friend loudly early in the morning shall have it reckoned to him as a curse. It's like don't bother your neighbors early in the morning loudly.
That was the one I was talking about last night on the live stream. Yeah.
Have good boundaries with your neighbors, folks.
Yeah.
That's what it's saying. Chapter 28. Come on, honey, come hang out. Everybody likes it better when you hang out with me.
Well, you smile more, that's for sure.
Yeah, it's because you're beautiful.
Oh, God. Okay, hold on. Let me get a jacket.
All right.
I'm trying to get him to go to sleep, but he's, like, delirious.
He's just hanging out.
My back hurts so bad.
All right, there she is.
I've been trying to
There she
listen.
is.
I was working on a commission for a client.
There she is. All right. You want to read?
No, this is your thing.
It's not my thing. It's y'all's thing. I'm just sharing y'all's thing with everybody
I
else.
want you to do it. I think it's good that you're doing it.
All right. Chapter 28. The wrong shall flee, though no one pursues, but the righteous are as bold as a lion. Because of transgression of a land, many are its rulers. But by a man of understanding and knowledge, right is maintained. A poor man who oppresses the poor is like a sweeping rain that leaves no food. Those who forsake the Torah praise the wrong. Those who guard the Torah strive with them. Evil men do not understand right ruling, but those who seek Yahweh understand all. Verse 6. Better is the poor who walks in his integrity than one perverse in his ways who is rich. He who watches over the Torah is a discerning son, but a companion of gluttons shames his father. He who increases his possessions by interest and profit gathers it from him who shows favor to the poor. He who turns away an ear from hearing the Torah, even his prayer is an abomination. Whoa. I didn't know that.
There's other parts too in scripture where it talks about your prayer being void or not being heard. I think there's one in correlation to how you treat your wife.
He who causes the straight to go astray in an evil way falls into his own pit. But the perfect inherit the good. A rich man is wise in his own eyes, but the poor who has understanding searches him out. When the righteous exult, there is great comeliness. But when the wrong arise, a man is searched for. He who hides his transgression does not prosper, but he who confesses and forsakes them.
Do you want that?
Sure, yeah, thank you.
You're welcome.
But he who confesses and forsakes them finds compassion. Blessed is the man who always fears Elohim. But he who hardens his heart falls into evil. A roaring lion and a charging bear is a wrongdoer over poor people. A leader who lacks understanding is a great oppressor, but the hater of greed prolongs his days. A man oppressed by blood guilt flees into a pit. Let no one help him. He who walks blamelessly is saved, but the perverted of ways falls at once. He who tills the land is satisfied with bread, but he who pursues vanities is filled with poverty. A man of truth has many blessings, but one in a hurry to be rich does not go unpunished. To show partiality is not good, because for a piece of bread a man would transgress. A man with an evil eye runs after wealth and does not know that poverty awaits him. He who reproves a man finds more favor afterward than he who flatters with his tongue. He who robs his father or his mother and says, "It is no transgression," he is a companion to a destroyer. He who is greedy stirs up strife, but he who trusts in Yahweh prospers. He who trusts in his own heart is a fool, but he who walks wisely is delivered. He who gives to the poor does not lack, but he who hides his eyes does have many curses. When the wrong rise up, men hide themselves, but when they perish, the righteous increase. Chapter 29.
Oh my gosh.
What's that? You got a friend?
Yeah.
Who that? Oh.
That one. My favorite.
Chapter 29.
My favorite friend.
One often reproved, hardening his neck, is suddenly broken, and there is no healing. When the righteous increase, the people rejoice. But when a wrong one rules, the people sigh. He who loves wisdom gladdens his father, but a companion of whores destroys wealth. A sovereign establishes a land by right ruling, but one who receives bribes throws it down. A man who flatters his neighbor spreads a net for his own feet. An evil man is snared by transgression, but the righteous sings and rejoices. The righteous knows the plea of the poor. The wrong does not understand such knowledge. Scoffers ensnare city, but the wise turn away wrath. When a wise man disputes with a foolish man, whether he rages or laughs, there is no peace. Bloodthirsty men hate the perfect. That's so true. When a wise man disputes with a foolish man, whether he rages or laughs, there is no peace. Even if you don't get mad, it does take away your peace. Don't even engage with a fool.
Yep.
Bloodthirsty men hate the perfect and seek the life of the straight. A fool lets out all his breath, but the wise, keeping it back, calms it down. If a ruler listens to lying words, all his servants become wrong. The poor man and the oppressor have this in common. Yahweh gives light to the eyes of both. The sovereign who rightly rules the poor with truth. His throne is established forever. A rod and reproof give wisdom, but a child unrestrained brings shame to his mother. When the wrong become many, transgression increases, but the righteous look on their fall. Discipline your son, and he brings you rest and delight to your life. When there is no vision, the people are let loose. But blessed is he who guards the Torah. A servant is not disciplined by words, though he understands. He does not respond. Have you seen a man hasty in his words? There is more expectancy for a fool than for him. He who deals tenderly with his servant from youth has him as a son in the end. Hi, Panda. A man of displeasure stirs up strife, and a master of rage has many a transgression. The pride of man brings him low, but the humble in spirit obtains esteem. Mm-hmm. He who shares with a thief hates his own life. He hears an oath but does not report. The fear of a man brings a snare, but whoever trusts in Yahweh is set on high. Many seek the face of a ruler, but the right ruling for man comes from Yahweh. An unrighteous man is an abomination to the righteous, and he who is straight in the way is an abomination to the wrong. That's exactly where we're at in the world. An unrighteous man is an abomination to the righteous, and he who is straight in the way is an abomination to the wrong. Okay, here we go. Chapter 30. Sure you don't want to read this one?
If you want me to read, I will read. Whatever you want. I'm sitting here hanging out with you. I like your face.
Yeah.
I'll do whatever you want.
All right, you read this one, and I'll read chapter 31.
Okay.
We'll swap.
You will hold Diamond so she doesn't destroy all my laundry?
Yeah, I love this dog.
She loves you. Okay. All right. Can I have this?
Yes.
Okay.
Is this
You know what's funny is like
okay.
As soon as I try reading, they give me Hebrew words. This is why I read out of a KJV Bible. Okay, the words of Agur, son of Yechech. Yechech. A message. This man declares to Lithil and Akil. Dude, no.
I'll read.
Like as soon.
I don't know how to say them either, but
you know,
at least I'll look silly.
I just thought I don't care what people think.
Here, take this. We'll just get back to it.
Okay. I can't read it. That's why I have my KJV.
I don't know how to say these words either, but better me look silly on camera than you.
Oh, it's fine. It's like as soon as I tried though.
The words of Agur, son of Yacheh, a message. This man declared to Ithiel and Ukal, for I am more stupid than anyone, and do not have the understanding of a man. Irony. And I have not learned wisdom that I should know knowledge of the set apart one. Who has gone up to the heavens and come down? Who has gathered the wind in his fists? Who has bound the waters in a garment? Who established all the ends of the earth? What is his name? And what is his son's name? If you know it, if you know it. Every word of Eloah is tried. He is a shield to those taking refuge in him. Do not add to his words, lest he reprove you, and you be found a liar. 2 matters I have asked of you. Deny them not to me before I die. Remove falsehood and lying words far from me. Give me neither poverty nor riches. Feed me my lawful bread, lest I become satisfied and deny you. And say, who is Yahweh? And lest I be poor and steal, and seize the name of my Elohim. Man, that is such a good passage, and I just really didn't do it any justice. 2 matters I ask, back to verse 7. 2 matters I have asked of you. Deny them not before I die. Remove falsehood and lying words far from me. Give me neither poverty nor riches. Feed me with lawful bread, lest I become satisfied and deny you, and say, who is Yahweh? And lest I be poor and steal, and seize the name of my Elohim. And do not slander a servant to his master, lest he curse you, and you be found guilty. There is a generation that curses its father, and does not bless its mother. There is a generation clean in its own eyes, but not washed from its own filth. There is a generation, oh, how haughty are their eyes, and their eyelids are lifted up. There is a generation whose teeth are swords, and whose jaw teeth are knives, to devour the poor from off the earth, and the needy from among men. The leech has 2 daughters. Give. 3 are not satisfied. 4 that never say enough. Sheol and the barren womb, soil not satisfied with water, and fire which never says enough. An eye that mocks his father and scorns to obey his mother. Ravens of the water dig it out, and young eagles eat it. 3 matters are too marvelous for me, and 4 which I do not understand. Bear was just quoting this verse if you guys were watching his live stream. The way of an eagle in the heavens, the way of a snake on a rock, the way of a ship in the heart of the sea, and the way of a man with a young woman. There is the way of an adulterous woman. She shall eat and wipe her mouth and say, I have not done wickedness. Under 3 matters the earth trembles, and under 4 it is unable to bear. Under a servant when it rains, and a fool when he is satisfied with food. Sorry. Let me take this.
What is it? Are you serious right now? Oh my gosh.
It was a tick.
Get off the tree.
All right. Sorry, I lost track. My son's in there rebelling from going to sleep. Under verse 22, under a servant when he reigns, and a fool when he is satisfied with food. Under a hated woman who marries, and a female servant who supplants her mistress. There are 4 matters which are little on the earth, but they are exceedingly wise. The ants are a people not strong, yet they prepare their food in the summer. The rock badgers are a weak folk, yet they make their homes in the crags. The locusts have no sovereign, yet they all go out in formation. A spider takes hold with 2 hands, and in its sovereign's place is in sovereign's palaces. There are 3 matters that are going well, and 4 are good in walking: a lion, which is mighty among beasts, and does not turn away from facing all; a greyhound, and a male goat, and a sovereign whose army is with him. If you have been foolish in lifting up yourself, or if you have plotted evil, put your hand on your mouth. For as milk under pressure brings forth curds, and as a nose under pressure brings forth blood, so wrath under pressure brings forth strife. Chapter 31. This one's all about you, babe.
What is this? Isn't Song of Solomon, is it?
No, is a virtuous woman. Chapter 31. Thanks for sticking with me, guys.
At the front door.
Chapter 31. What? What? What?
I can't say anything yet. Just
Okay. 31. The words of sovereign Lemuel, a message which his mother taught. That's not cool, right? I don't know. You guys don't know?
none of you will know. Okay.
Now she's
look,
rubbing
look,
it in.
look,
No,
look.
I'm reading.
No, you can just look real quick.
Oh my gosh. All right, chapter 31. The words of Lemuel, a message which his mother taught him. What, my chosen, and what chosen of my womb, and what chosen of my vows? Do not give your strength to women, nor your ways to wiping away sovereigns, nor your sovereigns, O Lemuel, not for sovereigns to drink wine, nor for princes to desire strong drink, lest they drink and forget what is inscribed, and pervert the right of all the afflicted. Give strong drink to him who is perishing, and wine to those embittered in being. Let him drink and forget his poverty, and remember his trouble no more. Open your mouth for the dumb, in the cause of all the sons the departed. Sorry, I'm easily distracted by
I know.
this stuff.
I don't mean to be. Sorry.
Open your mouth for the dumb, and the cause of all the sons of the departed. Open your mouth, judge righteously, and plead the cause of the poor and needy. Who does find a capable wife? For she is worth far more than rubies. The heart of her husband shall trust her, and he has no lack of gain. She shall do him good and not evil all the days of her life. She shall seek wool and flax, and with delight she works with her hands. She shall be as the ships of the merchant. She brings in her food from afar. She also rises while it is still night, and provides food for her household. And what is lawful for her girls? What is lawful for her girls? She shall consider a field and buy it. From her profits she shall plant a vineyard. She shall gird herself with strength and strengthen her arms. She shall taste when her gain is good. Her lamp does not go out by night. She shall stretch out her hand to the distaff, and her hand shall hold the spindle. She shall extend her hand to the poor, and she shall reach out her hand to the needy. She is not afraid of snow for her household, for all of her household is dressed in scarlet. I find it really interesting because Lucia's helped me so much. I couldn't have ever done the t-shirt thing without her. Like she's making clothes, you guys, like linen and wool and like the spindle. Like she makes clothes, and Lucia's helped me make this. Anyways, it's amazing. Y'all's good, and Lucia's awesome. Verse 22. She shall make tapestry for herself. She is dressed in fine linen and purple. Her husband is known in the gates, when he sits among the elders of the land. She shall make fine linen and sell them, and shall give girdles for the merchants. Strength and splendor are her garments, and she rejoices in time to come. She shall open her mouth with wisdom, and her tongue is in and on her tongue is the Torah of loving commitment. She watches over the ways of her household and does not eat the bread of idleness. Her children rise up and call her blessed, her husband too, and he praises her. Many daughters have done nobly, but you have risen over them all. Loveliness is deceptive, and prettiness is vain. A woman who fears Yahweh is to be praised. Give her the fruit of her hands, and let her work praise her in the gates. Good stuff. Good stuff. Who's in the chat? Anybody else got a virtuous wife? Praise the Father for a wife. He who finds a wife finds a good thing. Yeah, I know our son's in there just flailing about. But this is kind of my favorite part of this. We get to sit here and bask in the word of Yah, and to have a little bit of fellowship. We have 6 awesome babies. Awesome, LT. What ages? Boys, girls? Yeah, praise Yah. Isaiah, shalom, brother. Praise Yah for wives. Amen. Oh, yeah, thank God. I got what you're saying. You That's not me. That's my wife. I am Jerry. I don't understand what. Anyways. No, you're not. I am Jerry, not you. So, yeah. How's everybody doing today? Got Rachel. Shalom, Rachel. Thanks for being here. Better late than not at all. I was super late to get this thing started. What, J.A. Dudley was in the house? Is he not anymore? Oh no, I'm Yeti. That's right. Yeti. I like it. I'll run with it. Been looking for an alias, but somebody else has to give it to you. You can't just make your own alias up. Five strong boys and a beautiful girl. Congratulations, brother. That is awesome. I'm assuming you're a brother. Yeah, and a wife to die for. Yep. My brother. Congratulations, man. That is good. Praise Yah. Doing great, reading the Parsha as soon as we get off. Nice. What is that like the Torah portion, or I'm kind of new at all the. I mean, I'm not new. I don't know the Hebrew words still, so that's a thing. So yeah. Sorry, late to the game today, guys. Yeah, the Torah portion. Okay, cool. What's the portion that you guys are reading? Oh man, you told me what it was too, and I forgot. The pea pots. No, don't. Come on. Yeah. Show's gotta want to publicly shame me. No. Okay, I'll tell you. What she's talking about, the pea pods. Because I was like, how do you say Jerry in Russian? You know, because I was like thinking back on my childhood, how all the Russian guys, because my dad was Jerry, and they'd call him Yeti, and then or it was more like Jetty, not like Jetty, but anyways, and then I'm Jerry Jr., so they were like Jetty Jettyvich, you know, So, anyways, long story short, I looked it up. How do you say Jerry in Russian? And it's kind of like that. I'm not Russian, so I didn't say it right. But the definition of Jerry in Russian is a pea pot, a piss pot. I was like, that's not cool, man. That's a John. Sorry if any of your guys' names are John. No. But, man, Jerry's got a bad reputation. Jerry rigged. Jerry's a German soldier. Jerry's a pea pot. Come on. Come on. It's messed up, man. Jerry can't catch a break. Jerry curl. Heard it all. I feel for you, bro. Right? Don't go to Russia. Yeah, I know. Everybody be calling me a pea pot. What's up, pea pot? Can't even handle that. Jerry Peapot is your new contact name. Oh, don't do that, bro. That's messed up. Jerry Peapot. No, it's Jerry B. Crippen. Jerry B. Crippen. Well, if you can't laugh at yourself, then what do then what are you doing? That's all right. Y'all can name me Jerry Peapot. That's okay. Who am I? Just a lowly peapot. Yeah, it's not looking too good, is it? I I don't watch the news and we don't own a TV, so I'm not full of the current events, but I heard enough listening to Bear today to know that there's hell breaking loose over in Ukraine, and it's not good. Two peas in a pot. That's pretty good, dude. That's messed up, but that's pretty good. Yeah, I know. I can hear you, Lucia. Share Bear, Yeriko, Yeri capable. Thank you. Yeah. See? Thank you, Dano. Somebody is trying to lift me back up. Come on. Y'all just hating on me. Dano, you got my back, bro. Thank you. Jerry yeah, I'm Jerry capable. Yeah, Lucia does call me Bunny. It doesn't bother me. It's my name from her only. Lucia's just trying to dig me a hole as deep as she can. She's like, yeah, and I call him Bunny for Honey Bunny. Yeah, okay, let's do that. I'll start doing these on Zoom. If you guys are, I got the same regular, like six to 8 people that are always here. I'll just start doing these on Zoom. That'd be great. I'd love to see your guys' face. This would be more enjoyable for me. I mean, I'm already bad. I'm trying to not say that anymore, but I'm doing this to grow. Most of you guys are aware of that, right? Like, I did not want to read, much less on camera. I'm doing this it's one way to deny my flesh. I'm also being blessed by it. I like get to hang out with you guys, and it's the 4-quarter philosophy. I don't need 600 people in the chat. I just need 7 now, and that's awesome. I don't care about the numbers. That's not why I'm doing this. Geriatric, a lovely place. What are you talking about, place? Geriatric? That's not a good thing, Lucia. That's not a place either. That's not Arctic. Geriatric. All right, Isaiah's roasting me, man. You're good at that. You should. Yeah, you're good at roasting. I guess I'm an easy target though too. So with a name like Jerry. Oh yeah, I feel you, Dano. Like all of them, Moses was like, I don't, and I'm not even trying to compare myself with those guys, but I want to be obedient. I want to do the right thing. When we were told to move out here from Oregon to Missouri, we saw a sign that said, "Do what's right, not what's easy." Recently, we've been dissecting that a little bit, and it's like, well, what is right? Righteousness. Do righteousness, not what's easy. The world, the way to sin is a wide path, or the way that leads to death is a wide path. We are funny. I know that we have a lot of fun. Lucia and I are polar opposites too, so we there's a lot of contrast in that. I didn't catch what you're talking about, Moose. No, I am coffee. Bless you, man. I love talking with you guys. I am a social butterfly. Where's Harvest Homestead? Where's that? Oh yeah, Heart and Harvest Homestead. Sorry. I can barely see the names on my phone because it's so tiny. I'm gonna bring this closer to me. Sorry. I like to be able to read your guys' comments. Oh, you do the roasting. I get it. Good one. Yeah, I have a cigar once in a blue moon, but only when I'm hanging out with my bro Moose. I actually almost had a cigar the other day, but it was hot outside. It's kind of a commitment. But I'm no bear. I can offer you like entertainment and hopefully make you laugh, but bear is like just spewing wisdom all the time. Wisdom and whiskey. And I mean, I like to think that once in a while I drop some wisdom bombs, but no whiskey for this guy no more. Oh my gosh, Isaiah. Bro. That's hilarious. Oh my gosh. I just said hilarious. That's ridiculous. I didn't mean to say that. Knowledge is knowing tomato is fruit. Wisdom is not putting it in your fruit salad. Glad you guys made your way to Missouri. Me too, man. It was not easy, which makes sense why when the Father gave us a sign, he's like, do what's right, not what's easy, because we didn't even want to go. And now I can't imagine ever going back. I hope so, Moose. I'm looking forward to hanging out soon. Don't want to mix whiskey in the pea pot. No, sir. No, sir. We are in between. I can't give you my exact location, but it's easy to find. If you've ever bought anything from us, it's all over our stuff because our return address. But we are in between. But you know what I mean. We're on the internet. I don't want people just getting my address. We're in between Branson and Springfield in Missouri. It's pretty broad, but all right. Shalom, Moose. Take care, brother. Shalom, Dano. Bless you, brother. Keep the sword sharp. Shalom, homies. Yep, praise Yah, he provides. Yes, sir. Everybody read Dano's message. Yeah. Things are heating up. Things are getting spicy. And be spiritually prepared. It's good if you have preps, like physical preps too, but be spiritually prepared above everything else. Get your heart in the right place. Don't be lukewarm. I know that you guys in this group are not, but for anybody who watches this later, potentially, yeah, got to be ready. Be ready to give an answer for the faith that's in you too. Good night, Rachel. Have a good prep day too. You jumping off? I think that looks like everybody's ready to go. We'll probably jump off too. Call from Ohio 4 years ago. Have a construction business here with 6 mouths to feed. Bro, I hear you. That's I can imagine that's a very difficult situation. You can't up and leave. I mean, the Father can open up a door for you if that's his will, wherever he wants you to be. Talk to Lucia about that. Yeah, if you have Lucia's number, message her. We'll tell you where we're at, like through text message. I'm not worried about you knowing. Just on the internet, you know how it is. Hey, shalom, Dudley. I'm way back in the chat, I think. Dudley, brother, it's good to see you here. I still gotta watch your first swimming lessons video. I just saw that pop up. How'd that go? LT, bless you, brother. Yeah, hopefully. If you're coming out this way, man, make sure send us an email. Let us know. We'll connect with you. And if you want us to be your boots on the ground, look for places out here. We'll be happy to keep our eyes open. We always look for properties in the area too, because we don't own land yet, but we're hoping to. Y'all willing, we will. All right. Good night, Heart and Harvest Homestead. Bless you. Did not drown. LOL. Hey, that's a success. That's a success, man. Yeah, let's do that, Isaiah, for sure. And you'll just have to tell me what midrash means. Midrash, like hangout, fellowship, do something like that, right? I'm just gonna be honest. Like, I am so new with the Hebrew lingo. I oh my gosh. Yeah, Jerry. Yeah. Midrash is just talking about the scripture. I agree. Brady Glass, shalom. It's like one of my very best friends right there, Brady Glass. Good to see you here, man. Yeah, talk about the word midrash. Well, let's do it, man. I mean, if you guys want to hang out, let's talk about the word. So, I'll go back through, since we're going to talk about some word here, and highlight and kind of, I'll let you guys know which verses I was marking as we were reading, because there's some things that, it's kind of like note to self kind of deal. When I'm reading, I'm like, hey, you need to pay attention to that one a little extra, which for me is things like I've always tried to be as transparent and honest with people as possible, but that has to have like some safe rails on the sides of it, right? All right, shalom, Isaiah. Yeah, we'll midrash sometime soon. All right, good night, you guys. Shalom. But so the thing with transparency, right, is like you want to. So my school of thought is the Father knows my innermost thoughts, and every little inch of who I am, even knows me better than I know myself. So if I don't want to project a fake person to somebody who I'm trying to build relationships with, which, either way, I just want to be real with everybody, okay? And so if I'm trying to be something or putting on a front or even, I don't know, I look at it as almost being fake. And the Father knows who I am. He knows the truth of whether I know what midrash means or not. And now I could sit in here and pretend I know what it means and I don't. But then I'm not going to be able to learn what it means. And so I'd rather look foolish and be honest than, pretend I'm like smarter than I really am or something. I don't know what I'm trying to say, but yeah, I just know the Father knows every part of me, and if I project anything different than my authentic self to somebody else, I feel it's just disingenuous, and I feel I've always felt convicted by it, so I try to be as real as possible. Sometimes too real, where I don't have to share as much about me as I do. But anyways, here's some of the verses that I highlighted while we were reading through. Good timing. Even a fool keeping silence is guarded as wise, as understanding when he closes his lips. You guys probably guessed why I had to highlight that. Another one, the name of Yahweh is a strong tower. The righteous run into it and are safe. Obviously, you could highlight this entire book, and I don't mean the book of Proverbs. You can just the whole Word of God is just one giant highlight marker, But there are some things that are speaking to you in the moment while you're reading it. And, yeah, these are some of those. So, the name of Yahweh is a strong tower. The righteous run into it and are safe. When things feel unstable, that's a comforting verse, Verse 17 of chapter 18. The first to state his own case seems right until another comes and examines him. So if you grew up in this is what came to my mind. If you grew up in a certain congregation and a teacher taught you, if you're saved, you're saved forever. You can never lose your salvation. Once saved, always saved. That's the way it is, folks. So I was taught that in church, and through reading my Bible and through experiencing life and falling away, I highly disagree with that doctrine. I find it to be very, very dangerous. And so I studied it out as I was coming from my fall, my backsliding, coming back into the faith. I started examining these things and holding the doctrine up to the light of Scripture and finding out whether or not it's legit, if that's what the word really says. So that's that. Yeah, he who guards the command guards his life. He who despises his ways dies. It's very serious to keep Torah, and most people have, even that only have the New Testament, have Proverbs and Psalms, and you got Psalms 119 that's all about keeping the commands, the instructions of Yah. Then you got verses all throughout Proverbs, all throughout the whole New Testament as well, that say things like this: he who guards the commands guards his life. He who despises his ways dies. Right there in black and white.
Too is like his instruction is not just like, it's not like, oh, you have to do this because I said so. A lot of it's like, do this because it's good for you. Like how we as parents tell our child, don't go on the street, and then like when they're disobedient, they go on the street, they get ran over and die. You know what I mean? It's like that kind of analogy.
Yeah, it's extreme, but yeah.
Well, that's how I picture it. That's
I know.
How I see it.
Oh yeah, it's exactly right. We know he knows what's best for us, and he gave us instructions because it was going to put a safeguard up for us.
Like sheep. I'm ready for bed.
Thank you, LT. I appreciate that. Thank you. I really do appreciate that. And I try.
I'm gonna eat a bowl of salad.
All right, LT, JA. We got Brady. We got 8 people in here still. I don't want to leave you guys hanging, but I think everybody, it's 10, 20. I think we're all ready for
I'm pregnant.
settle down. You super pregnant.
I'm growing a
You're super
human.
cute too.
You go to sleep.
All right. I love you guys. Thank you so much for hanging in here extra late with me. I'll be honest, like while I'm reading, I kind of want to just like talk with you guys as I'm reading, but I don't know how to do both at the same time.
Can I show them something cool?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, so I think that whole like, what was it, Skype or Zoom or whatever? Zoom would be so fun, man. I would love to see you guys' faces.
Okay, hold on. I'm figuring it out. Okay.
Oh, here's a little sneak peek. 5 people left. This is coming like ridiculously quick.
Can you see it?
That way.
Can you see it? I don't know if it'll focus.
It's not gonna focus?
I don't know. It's just because it's a screen on a screen. I could read it. I could read it because it's just words mostly. It's the blessed be Yahweh, my rock, who trains my hands for war and my fingers for battle.
Yeah, and it looks awesome. Hey, you changed how it looks. Oh no, you didn't. It still looks good. Nice.
I did format it a little differently, but
that one's gonna be awesome.
Again, there's your logo. Okay. That's it. That's all I got.
Are the beanies are there beanies in the future?
Okay, so can I talk about the beanies?
Yeah.
Okay, so I've tried doing beanies the last 2 years, and it has been ridiculous trying to find a good manufacturer for a decent price where we can keep our prices on our website not insane, right? And so I've worked with 2 or 3 different beanie companies. The one we did this last winter ended up being a company that we'd ordered from in the past, and apparently they sold out their company, and we got like essentially scammed, and I had to reach out to PayPal and get our money back, which was really upsetting. And so now we are working with an embroidery company that we really love and we really trust, and I did get some samples sent in today, and they should be done soon, and that'll kind of decide where we're gonna go with it. But we're thinking tactical beanies, and I'm really, really excited.
Yeah. So just to paint you guys a picture, right? Like let's just say that this is a beanie and a hat. So it's gonna have like a square patch, and that patch will be embroidered with our seal logo.
And no promises, but it will be like a fleece type beanie, which will be nice. I can't read that.
I'm ordering one tactical insane beanie. It's gonna be insane.
Yeah.
The beanie is gonna be like, yeah!
And we don't want to like outsource
Crazy
our product.
beanie.
Our product. We don't want to get our manufacturing done out of the country, so we're gonna be supporting a really small company just like ours, and that feels really good. We're really excited about that.
Yeah. So we have this new school of thought with our products, right? So we donate 10% of our profits to Grindstone Ministries to help with Caleb House, to help with the effort to stop, intercept, and fix people who've been trafficked. Anyways, if we are going to continue buying shirts that are made in all these different countries, we cannot guarantee that they're not being produced, and we're actually fueling a slave trade in another country. So to ensure that little children aren't forced to make our shirts, we're gonna buy them here in the United States. And so that was the final push for me.
Oh my gosh, am I supposed to be a mechanic? Why do I have a wrench? I love Brady. Yeah, I did a logo for a girl in high school who wants to start a nonprofit that like brings awareness to the people that are promoting fast fashion and promoting the trafficking industry, and that really convicted me. And it's important. A lot of the companies that we do get our shirts from that have overseas manufacturing, it is like in Mexico and it is overlooked by Americans, but there's no way to really ensure that unless we're buying 100% American made.
Yeah. Yep. Lefty loosey, righty tighty. That's right.
Okay,
Yeah.
I'm done.
All right. We love you guys. Okay, I'm gonna do a little outro so that when I edit this is gonna be like the very end of the video.
Your face is, I like your face.
All right, guys. Thanks for listening. This has been the Book of Proverbs, and tomorrow we're gonna pick up in what book are we reading tomorrow? It's gonna be Judges, starting the book of Judges tomorrow. We'll see you then. Shalom, guys. Thanks for hanging out with us in the chat, you guys. We love you. Bye.